Shabbat Shalom, Yesharallah. First and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rucha Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessing to those let Akim that's preached the word in all truth and sincerity, along with your Israelite foreigner brothers that are like the heathens. But the line on the false side goes back to the nation of Israel, which nation of Israel are you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans through the prophecies and curses of Deuteronomy 28 chapter and throughout the Bible. So this is brother Yakar Amount of lesson. And today's lesson will be entitled "It's a Blessing to Have the Brotherhood." You know, I'm just gonna go on some precepts and Lord willing, you brothers and you sisters out there be edified through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemon Shai. You know, it's a blessing to have the brotherhood, man, because well, when all hell break loose, when Jacob's trouble come, the Lord has us to be together as all of us brothers. We can, we are able to trust each other, man. Because everybody's gonna be in that spirit of a cutthroat. Everybody's gonna be for themselves. And as the scriptures say, the love of many shall wax cold, man. But us knowing this knowledge, knowing the prophecies, we're supposed to have a different spirit from the world, man. To love one another. Because brotherly love, is not in black culture, Hispanic culture, Native American culture, brotherly love is not. You don't really find that in there, man. It's always contentions. There's always strifes, schisms. But being is true, it's not supposed to be like that, man. So I just want to go into it, and once again, Lord willing, you brothers and your sisters out there be edified through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemon Shai. You know, I'm going to start from the book of Psalms, chapter 133, verse 1. As the title it says, the excellency of brotherly unity. It says, a song of the degrees of David, Psalm 133 and 1. It says, behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. And that's right, man. Let's look at that word unity, because that's a good and pleasant thing because, our people are always divided, you know, but us in the truth, we come in the unit, and it starts off with the doctrine, of Yahweh Shai, you know, and let's look at that word unity. It's from the Hebrew word yachad, which means union, uniteness, together, all together, because we're supposed to be all like-minded, together, as you will read, because it all starts off with the doctrine, the names of Yahweh Shemon Shai and the doctrine, you know, how we unify, this is 1 Corinthians 1 and 10 says, now I beseech you, brethren, by the name of our Lord Yahweh Shai Mashiach, that you all speak the same thing, and that there be no divisions among you, but that ye be perfectly joined together in the same mind and in the same judgment. And that's right, man. So it's supposed to be in the same mind, the same judgment, and speak the same thing in the doctrine sense. But besides the doctrine, we're supposed to put on our new man, which is supposed to love each other and not holding grudges against one another, because that's the worldly stuff, man. And just type in that word grudge, let's see, yep, this is this is James 5 and 9. It says, grudge not one against another, brethren, lest ye be condemned. Behold, the judge standing before the door. And that's right, man. So we're not supposed to grudge against one another, because we can be condemned for that, man. And we're supposed to forgive our brother as well if you sin against us, man, because, we all have offended each other at some point in time in the truth. But that's why, forgiveness is where it comes in place, you know. And we looked at the word grudge. It's from the Greek word stenazo, which means a side to groan. Let's just look it up on the see. Grudge, it says a persistent feeling of ill will or resentment resulting from a past injury, insult or injury, right, man? So we're not supposed to, because keep that bitterness. It says right here, bitterness in us, man. That's another thing. We can't hold bitterness. The scriptures talk about, um, you become defiled when you have bitterness in your spirit, man. Take root in your spirit. You know. See. Yep. This is Hebrews 12:15 says, looking diligently lest any man fail of the grace of Yahweh, lest any root of bitterness spring up trouble you, and thereby many be defiled. Right. So we're not supposed to have bitterness in our spirits, man, towards brothers. And other brothers is gonna um, relate more with other brothers, man. It's just how it is. You can't be jealous by that as well, you know, because brothers got different spirits, and each spirit of each brother, it may be another brother that he his spirit bears witness more with that other brother's spirit, but that doesn't mean he's not the brother. He's not a brother just because he don't vibe with you more than the other brother. You see, because Yahweh Shai, he had an inner circle. He had the inner circle, man. The Peter, James, and John. He hung out with them most of the time. That was like the Lord Yahweh Shai inner circle. But that didn't take away from the fact that he loved the other disciples. He just loved, you know, um, you know, Peter, James, and John, especially John. That was the beloved disciple of the Lord. Apostle John. You know, bitterness. It says bitter gall, extreme wickedness, bitter hatred. So you're not supposed to hate your brother on the low. You secretly hate your brother. You know, and let's get that. Cause how are you gonna hate? Let's see. Let's see. Yep. This is Leviticus 19:17 says, "Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thy heart. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor and not suffer sin upon him." Right. So we're not supposed to hate one another, man. You know, because we come from the same nation. We worship the same God. We got the same heritage. So we're not supposed to hate each other, man. We're supposed to rebuke our neighbor when he goes off, because that's love. And that's where a lot of hatred comes from rebuke. Brothers think some brothers in the faith think that rebuke is hatred, but no, rebuke is really love to keep you from sinning. You know, this is Saint John chapter 13 verse 34. And this is Yahweh Shai speaking. It says, "A new commandment I give unto you, that you love one another, as I have loved you, that you also love one another." Right. So we're supposed to love one another, man. Looking out for each other when we down on certain things. You know, I always got to be with charity. It could be just by way of a phone call. Brother's time. You know, being there for when brothers need you. You know, it says verse 35 says, "But this shall all men know that you are my disciples, if you have love one to another." Right, man. So all men gonna know that. This was going on back then. But you don't see that with Jake in the world, man. Having love one to each other, man. With mannerisms, with order. You don't see that, man. That's why when the world sees us brothers, when we hang out, fellowship, they see the light on us, man. Because especially when it comes from so-called Negroes, because the world thinks that we just known for being violent and loud and wicked, which our people are wicked. 2/3 of our people, but the elect comes from a um, different cloth, man. You know. Now let's go to Ecclesiastes chapter 19, verse 15. It says in the Apocrypha, it says, "Let thy talk be with the wise, and all thy communication in the law of the Most High." Right. So it's supposed to be. That's our conduct, our talk. Talking about the prophecies with the Akim, because they are the wise, man. And let just men, which is righteous men, eat and drink with thee, and let thy glory glorying be in the fear of the Lord. That's right, man. You know, so we supposed to communicate constantly with one another, as the scriptures say. Though those that feared the Lord often spoke to each other. Let me just get it real quick. I don't want to misquote that. Those that fear the Lord. Yep. This is Malachi 3:16. And it reads, it says, then they that fear the Lord Yahweh spake often one to another. And right, man. So that applies to the elect. You know, Lord being a part of that. Then they that feared the Lord spake often one to another. Yeah, that's by way, of our conversations in the chat. You know, that brothers use WhatsApp, you know, on the phone or, in our camp week in, week out, you know, on the common boards and in lessons when the brothers go live. It says, and the Lord hearkened and heard it, and a book of remembrance was written before him, which the book of remembrance is the Bible, was written before him for them that feared the Lord Yahweh and that thought upon his name, man. That's right, you know. And let's go to Romans 12:9. It says, let love be without dissimulation, right? And we look at the word dissimulation. Um, it's from the Greek word anipokritos, which means unfeigned, undisguised, sincere. Means right here without dissimulation, the hypocrisy. So we can't love each other with hypocrisy, man. That fake love, because that's what niggas in the world do. You know, they act like they cool with you, but secretly they hate you. They envy you. That's another thing. We can't envy one another as well. You know, because the Lord blessed our brothers to have that particular portion in His life. So we can't covet after our neighbor's goods, man, and envy. Because at the end of the day, the Lord blessed our brothers to have that. You know, so that's another thing as well. You know, so you know, loving each other can be without hypocrisy, dissimulation. It says abhor that which is evil, which abhor means avoid, cleave to that which is good, which is just truth. Evil is all the doctrines and philosophies of this world. The wisdom of this world is evil. It says, be kindly affectionate one to another with brotherly love and honor, preferring one another. That's right, man. You know, so we gotta, that's very important to have, man. Because two is better than one. Ecclesiastes 4:9 says two are better than one because they have a good reward for their labor, right, man? So it's beneficial to be in a body, you know. For if they fall, the one will lift up his fellow. That's right, man. So, because sometimes we can slip with our tongue at camp, and then, you know, our fellow Israelite brother will lift us up, will correct us, rebuke us, you know. We can't get offended and emotional when we get rebuked, man, because that's ultimately, like I said earlier, that's love, man. But woe, which means death and destruction, to him that is alone when he falleth, for he have not another to help him up, right, man? So, like Elder Manatazak about did a video, I believe it was yesterday or a couple of days ago, the demon of, doing your own thing, because once you be alone, you fall, man. You don't got no brothers to help you up, man. You know, so you don't want to, be in that position. Now that doesn't apply to brothers that have to teach by themselves if they don't got no brothers. But that applies to brothers that left the brotherhood, left the assembly of the brotherhood, and did their own thing because they was offended instead of working out with the camp. Because it was the order that we were supposed to do, man. Yahweh Shai told us supposed to speak to that brother that you had a fault with. Then if that brother can't hear you, then you take it to the camp. But look up precepts. But it was a chain of command or order you're supposed to do. You're not supposed to just leave the brotherhood because you got offended. That's disorderly. That's not um that's dishonor. It says, for he that have not another to help him up. Again, if two lie together, then they have heat. But how can one be warm alone? That's right, man. So it's very beneficial to have brothers, you teach with and to be in the midst of the brotherhood, man. For guidance, you know. Um, but I was trying to find out one precept. If you love, let's see. I know it's one of the James. If you don't love your brother, uh, basically it's like if you don't love your brother, which you see, how could you love the Most High, who you do see? Um, how can you, which you don't see? Uh, yeah, this is First John 4:20, and it reads, it says, if a man say I love Yahweh and hate his brother, he is a liar. For he that loveth not his brother whom he hath seen, um, how can he love Yahweh whom he have not seen? Right, man. So how could let's say, for he that loveth not his brother whom he have seen, how can he love Yahweh whom he have not seen? Right, man. You know. So you gotta love your brother that you do see, man. Even though if you are at odds with your brother, but that don't mean you're not supposed to hate that brother, man. Cause like I said earlier, brothers got different spirits. Brothers vibe with other brothers more, but you can't be offended in that, man. It's how it is. You know, you can't hate your brother because of that. Whom you do see. And how you gonna love the Most High who you don't who you have not seen. You see, so um, 1 John 2:11 says, but whosoever hates his brother is in darkness and walks in the darkness. He does not know where he is going because the darkness has blinded his eyes, man. Right? And it's just look that up real quick. It's a good precept. Because that's the way of Cain hating your brother, you know. See, yep. 1 John 2:11 says, but he that hateth his brother is in darkness and walketh in darkness and knoweth not whither he goeth because of that darkness hath blinded his eyes, man. Right? So you don't want to hate your brother, you know, like like, because that was the spirit of Cain, you know, on his brother Abel, you know, and King Saul, he hated King David because he was jealous of King David because he knew King David was better than him. Um, let me see, yeah, this is 1 John 3 and verse 11 says, for this is a message that you heard from the beginning, that we should love one another, not as Cain, who was of that wicked one, and slew his brother. And wherefore he slew him? Because his own works were evil and his brother's righteous. Right? So you can't be as Cain, that wicked one. That's because that's a spirit, which that spirit dwells in the Edomites, you know, because Cain came back as Esau, you know, in the reincarnation, but it's like that had that spirit of Cain on them. They hate their brother. We can't be like that, man. We can't be jealous of our brothers. Be happy for the brother, man. So yeah, I can just want to make a lesson on that. It's an honor, it's a blessing to have a brotherhood, man. So Lord will act was edified, and until next time, Shalom.